All right, bro. I know you've had to come across what's going on with Travis Hunter,
Yeah,
his
man.
girlfriend, and everybody all on his head about it. And
Yeah.
what you think about that situation? What's your opinion?
Well, you've heard so many different opinions, and I've heard a lot of one-sided opinions. I'm gonna give a shout out to the homie Anton Daniels, and I ain't actually. I guess I'm gonna kind of review some of what he said. Then I'm gonna go away from it. But Anton had a interesting perspective because he did a review of Stephen A. Smith's video. And he said what, and you should guys should go check that out on Anton's channel. And he analyzed what Steve Smith, not Steve Smith, but
Stephen A.
Stephen A. had to say. Which Stephen A. said a whole bunch of good things, and I think the part that he disagreed with Stephen A. was when he spoke to the young lady, and her name escapes me right now.
Leanna Lene.
And Anton basically agreed with everything that Stephen A. had to say, except for when he said the part about maybe somebody was maybe have suggested maybe that people were speaking to her or whatever the case may be. And Anton pointed out, and I'll probably put that right here.
I don't believe that about Leanna 1 second. And I don't want to hear anything about anything that she may have done years ago. She's a young lady.
All right. I see the simping is here, but I understand why the simping is here because again, Stephen A. Smith has a much bigger audience than all of us, maybe short of Shannon Sharp. And Stephen A. Smith is trying to cross over and pivot into a different lane in addition to what's happening in sports. The problem is that Dez Bryant isn't speaking to her. Dez Bryant is speaking to Travis.
Anton pointed out that the different athletes were not speaking to her, that they were speaking to Travis Hunter. But he did agree with Stephen A. when he said it was a good thing that they shut down the social media. Anton agreed to that. And then he also agreed to something that Stephen A. suggested, while also stating that he understood why Stephen A. took the position that he took, because he has a pretty big podcast and he's not trying to alienate none of his subscribers as well, which I totally get. But as Anton stated, and as Stephen A. stated, she shouldn't have never been on social media in the beginning in that capacity.
Called her out respectfully by saying, you're choosing to be in the public eye because you're on social media. This brother is in the public eye because he plays on the football field.
Facts.
As one of the elite performers out there, and his career is about to take off. Look out for him. That's not to say that she did anything intentionally to go the other way.
Because you open yourself up for so many individuals to target you. You have, as Anton stated, people that are on there like Anton and other people that are making good content. And then you have certain people on there that they want to burn the damn thing down, no matter what the subject is. And she was subjected to that. My heart goes out to her. Now, I know Anton speaks about guys simping a lot, and I don't know how old Anton is, but that more so maybe speaks to his generation. But I have something that I'm going to state that's somewhat contrary to how he may see it, even though he has a lot of good points. I mean, he makes a lot of good points about a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of stuff. I know sometimes I get after him a little bit, but it's in love because he is the homie. Let me state, as I'm going away from his perspective, I want to state some alternative perspective that I don't think that this generation, maybe of Antons and the ones younger that don't identify with. Okay. First, let me state this. I like the fact that men are coming together now, as women did for so long, and trying to protect each other.
Dez Bryant's heart is in the right place. He's an older
interesting.
brother looking at a younger brother, potentially in a dicey kind of situation. His future being bright, won every major award you can imagine, including the Heisman. Sky's the limit. Future millions coming down the pike. And Dez, a former star football player for the Dallas Cowboys, is simply looking at the brother and saying, and doing what he can to help give him guidance.
Facts. I agree with all of that.
I'm seeing that that's starting to happen now. Before, in my era or so on, you never got that. When a man was subjected to whatever, it's like, man up, deal with it, shake it off. That's what goes on. And you don't talk about it. Now men are talking about it more. These younger men are talking about it more. And maybe it's because, maybe it's the soft guy era. I don't know what the case may be, but they're more in contact or in touch with their feelings and what should and should not be done to them. So I think what's being done with Travis Hunter right now is more of a reflection of the community of men starting to come together and coalesce around each other and trying to protect each other, which I don't think is a bad thing. I'm for that, and I'm good with that. Now, let me go off into another area, because I've had personal experiences, not as an athlete, but as a street dude, and I'm bringing a street perspective into this. Now, somebody say it ain't got nothing to do with it because that's athlete and money you're making. No, look at the drug industry, illegal drug industry, and looked at the billions and billions of dollars annually that earned. That created a class. Whether you want to recognize it or not, financially, it created a class. And I was at the top, very top of that class. And I'm making that distinction for a reason. Oftentimes, I met women and I did things for women, looked out for them in different ways. But these women were not prepared to deal with a man of my caliber. So what comes along? What comes along, no disrespect to Ethiopians, but basically just stating the statement that used to be made at that time. They treated me like they were Ethiopians. Girl, and the advice that they get, that's the most important thing. Girl, juicing or getting for everything you could get, which was an impoverished mindset. You had that receiver named Koresh or something that a girl like spent up his signing bonus money, got pregnant by her, and he ended up being part of a process that deleted her.
Oh, Ray Caruth.
Ray Caruth. And ruined his whole life because of that. And there's no support for that. But that's the worst extreme to a young guy that's probably like a Travis Hunter. Or probably like I was at the time when it was done to me, which I'll get into. My father married a Caucasian woman. So I was raised in a different household, away from the street. Even though I started out with my grandparents and was familiar with it, but I was taken away during those teenage years, most impressionable years. I was not familiar with the street. So when I got a girlfriend, I felt butterflies. Now I have friends that were former athletes, and they helped me understand, man, when they come get you out of high school. They take you somewhere you ain't never been before. You don't know none of these people. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about the street. You don't know nothing about these type of women that have special skill sets. And basketball-wise may be an indication of that. Well, you see these women with these special skill set, they get a hold of these young men in college that don't really have no street friends or have no one to tell them about these different things, and they have a skill set that's beyond their years, and these young men are introduced and that's put on them and turn their mind out. So you have to also be aware of that. But let me go back to my story. These women giving bad advice to these young ladies when dealing with me. I spotted and I ghost them at some point because I see what's going on. And I see them later. They come to me and they apologize because they didn't know. And my point is this: unless you have someone that's been through having a man of this caliber or whatever to coach you through and say, listen, girl, don't do this, don't do that. This young lady is being overwhelmed with all the exposure and all these things that ever happen. Sometimes you can wish for stuff in life, but you never think about, as you wishing for the mansion on the hill or this man that's bigger and better and huger than life, you never think about how you're going to handle it when it comes. Because when it comes, it hits you like a blindside hit. And a lot of times you're not prepared for it. And then who can you go to basically coach you up on this type of stuff? As the one film that I watched with at the Heisman Trophy thing, when Travis Hunter was coming down, Deion Sanders was hucking on Travis Hunter's mom. And he's so eloquent, he stuck his hand over and tapped her to get up. Now, some people are, oh, she's selfish, she's thinking about herself. But let's just evaluate the tap. Now, a polished woman with experience, which you got them out there, that know how to shine in that moment, she was clearly green because she didn't know to stand up. Now, some may say that should have been common sense, but she never been in that situation before. Okay, now, I think we also discount the fact that Deion Sanders is there. Deion Sanders helped put this boy in a position that he in. Deion Sanders has also had a problem with women that he had to work through. Deion Sanders' program is all about getting these boys ready for the next level and getting them ready for life, because the majority of them aren't going to make it. And I got a video right here when he was questioned about what Travis Hunter going through, and look at this.
Coach, it's been a hell of a 10 days for Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Some great stuff. Maybe some bull junk.
I don't know about your bull jump. I think everything is great. He has a Heisman Trophy at the crib. He's projected to be the first or second pick, no later than the third. I don't know where the bull jump comes in at. I think it's all a blessing. Things that you may count as stressing is still a blessing. And I think he's headed in the right direction. He loves the game of football. I'm always focused on the positive, not the negative. So easy to see the negative when the positive is right there in front of you. Why would you focus on that when the positive is right there in front of you? So I love this young man. I love what he stands for. I love him like he's a son. He's exceeded expectations. He's exceeded everything we asked of him, academically as well as foot athletically. So I'm happy to what he's gonna do in this particular game. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Whereas Deion Sanders just stated right here, that is all a blessing. The attention and everything he getting is a blessing. Now, nobody ever talks about the side effects that come along with blessings. Let's go and talk about that job that you wanted, that's going to pay you over 6 figures a year and all that, and you thinking about how beautiful your life will be, and you get that job. Then you find out that, oh my God, I got the dream job, but I'm not able to take my kids to practice no more. I'm not able to do date night no more with my wife. My marriage is starting to suffer because I'm not home that much. For every blessing, there's a curse. And for every curse or every bad thing, there's a blessing in it. But you got to see it. I know it appears as if I'm all over the place, but I'm not, because this is a very big subject. And there's so many things that could be touched on. But let me touch on this part before I close out from her perspective. You don't know how valuable that girl is. What do I mean by that? And I a lot of times like to use experiences that I'm familiar with myself, or sometimes other people's experiences, but I just put myself in them. So here's a case. I had a case to where it was this woman that I really wanted. I prayed to God for this woman. I prayed to God for, oh my God. And God blessed me with her. God blessed me with this woman. And I was happy with God. But I didn't know that this woman will be one of the biggest challenges to me that I've ever had in my life. Nothing I did seemed like it impressed this woman. And I felt that I wasn't worthy of this woman. She was so beautiful. I will bring the come. I did this. Oh, that ain't nothing. Or that ain't no. I know 5 other niggas that did that, and that would make me go. I get mad, and I tear off and go do something else. I come back to it like, nah. Look at this. Look at this. Who you know did this? Oh, I know 1,500 people did that. That ain't so special. Pew! I take off again. Listen here, that woman drove me all the way to dealing with Chapo. Do you hear me? Because I never would have did it without her. What she was doing, was it wrong? Yeah. Because she didn't want to give me no compliment for nothing. Because she wanted me to keep working and keep. But it had a reverse effect. It drove me all the way to where because at any point, if she would have been, oh, baby, you the greatest, I'd have stopped. What am I saying? What I'm saying is this. You got your mom there. You got your father there. But it comes a point in your life as a young man that your mom's love and encouragement can only get you so far. Then you run into that woman that's a figment of your imagination, a figment of your dreams. That woman that Travis Hunter took her and her friends to the club and sat outside the club for hours, allegedly, till she came out the club from partying with her friends and all this other stuff and drove them home. Because at some point, Travis Hunter valued that woman, his dream woman, more than he valued his manhood or anything else. Now, I'm not saying nothing bad in questioning his manhood, but how do you know that that woman wasn't the same one that encouraged him when he was ready to quit football? May have been for her own selfish reasons, but she may have been the one that encouraged him. When he was having them bad days and all that, she told him he could do it. And he believed her. Why? Because he felt she was more valuable than him. I think it was Dez Bryant that stated.
One notable post came from former Dallas Cowboys wideout Dez Bryant in a since-deleted tweet. This is what Dez wrote, quote, "She talked all that shit about you, saying she was going to address the situation once, but kept talking about it. She loves the attention way more than you. She thinks she's an equal to you. I can tell you're a great dude, and I promise there's a woman out there who's going to make your life easy and respect you. From what I see, she has nothing to offer but a fucking headache." End quote.
That the problem is, Travis Hunter, you thinking she more valuable than you. You're more valuable than her. But at the time he started dealing with her, her value was up. Even if it was from his perception only, and his was down. The same way that that woman that I dreamed and prayed to God for to give me, that he gave me, never gave me credit for nothing I did and basically told me I was average. And she also told me that I wasn't her type. But she was instrumental in pushing me by the things she said for me trying to impress her, pushed me to greatness. And I didn't know it. Now, do she deserve something for that? I think she does. Even though her intentions may have been selfish. Maybe Travis Hunter girl intentions are selfish. Maybe it is all about her. Maybe she was trying to build him to make him up to be whatever because she seen the potential in him. Any woman that selects a man to be with them and to produce children from them see something in the men that they don't see in themselves. Your mama seen something in you. Your mama seen something in your daddy that nobody else didn't see. A woman's foresight is unquestionable. Do she deserve something for that? I think she does. And I think when he's speaking from that perspective. This woman was loving me, even though I may not have been her type. But when she made that selection, she loved me like I was the king of the world. And guess what? The woman I'm talking about that I prayed for, I wasn't on her level. But when she got me, she loved me. I mean, oh my God, the love was so passionate in so many ways, it made me feel like the nigga I became. So when she was with Travis Hunter, and he's speaking about her and the way that he's doing, he's saying she was with me and she seen me, even though I wasn't her type. She eventually started seeing me when the rest of you niggas didn't. When the rest of y'all didn't know who I was. He says she was here with me before y'all got here.
On a life. Stop worrying about what I got going on. I know what I got. I know my girl. My girl been with me for 5 years. Y'all are just not starting to talk about me and just not starting to be with me. Like, come on, man. Y'all go do something else with y'all life.
Now that's loyalty. That loyalty can be dangerous. But who are you? Who am I to state the value of what he got from her on what he should or should not give her? Because in his mind or in his heart, she may be just as important or a bigger reason of the success that he is where he is now is because of her. What is the statement? Behind every great man, what they say, Tiana?
Is a great woman.
Is a great woman. Stop taking the credit from the woman. God sends us who we need at pivotal points to help us get to where we got to go. How do you know God didn't send that girl like he sent her at the moment that he sent her to serve that purpose for Travis Hunter, to get him where? Now guess what? God may replace that at some point. A lot of times the way you start and who you start out with, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say 99.9 times out of 100, they will not be there with you in the end. Even Moses came along and took the children of Israel up to a point. Then he said, God said, I'm not to cross this river. You go. God told me to stay here. Get out that young man business. Get out that young man business and trust Deion Sanders and the anointing that God has placed on Deion Sanders. Look at Deion. You got Michael Vick that just got a job as a head coach of a university now. This is God's work. What Jay-Z say? Probably the best time you talking about Jay-Z. But he talking about Jay-Z. He said this is a Hail Mary. And y'all interfering. On the record with, I think, Freemason with Rick Ross. This is a Hail Mary pass. Y'all niggas interfering. Stop interfering with God's work. There's too many symbols of God around that boy. Here's a clip right here with what Deion Sanders had to say when a reporter asked him about this. Right here.
Coach, it's been a hell of a 10 days for Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Some great stuff. Maybe some bull junk.
I don't know about the bull jump.
All right.
Everything is great. He has a Heisman Trophy at the crib. He's projected to be the first or second pick, no later than the third. I don't know where the bull jump comes in at. I think it's all a blessing. Things that you may count as stressing is still a blessing. And I think he's headed in the right direction. He loves the game of football. I'm always focused on the positive, not the negative. So easy to see the negative when the positive is right there in front of you. Why would you focus on that when the positive is right there in front of you? So I love this young man. I love what he stands for. I love him like he's a son.
That That man got him. God got him. And guess what? You may not be happy about it, but that girl served her purpose. Because there's no influence that's more powerful than a woman that believes that you can do something when you can't. So when that boy's out there catching them passes and doing the stuff on the defensive and the receiving, don't think he didn't get weary. Don't think he didn't get tired. His mama ain't there all the time. And even if that girl had selfish reasons, she deserves something. And whatever he want to give her for the value of what she did, he needs to give her. I had a girl before I got to dealing with the cartels that started dealing with me and helped me immensely. Mentally she helped me. And when I started dealing with them cartels and the pressure that they put me under mentally, I mean, so to the point I was so stressed, and she helped me with that. She helped prepare my mind for that. So when I finally hit that lick that led me on to her, I went to see her. She was going to Wayne State University. She was graduate school. She was behind, I think, a semester or two or something like that. And she wasn't going to be, I paid all her shit up. Cash. That's when the Spreewell rims was out. You stopping the thing still be spinning. The Chrysler 300 came out. She wanted one with a red top with the Spreewell with. I bought all of it. Gave it to her. Bought her a 4-carat diamond princess cut ring. Center stone, solid stone. Paid for it. Wasn't about no cootie cat and me doing this and all. It wasn't about that. The value of what the tools that she gave me and what I finessed and turned them into was more valuable than anything I could have ever gave her. And from that point, anything she needed, she got. A woman did that for me. The woman that eventually turned me on to the guy that she was a workout. I think I talked to her in one of the videos. She had muscles and shit. She wanted a workout gym. I gave her the money to start that. But she was with a group. The rest of them started coming because they started getting a number of gyms. The rest of them coming. I gave her the money to buy them out. People that do things for you need to be compensated. But that don't mean they're going to be with you for the rest of your life. The problem with black people, and I'm saying this from a good place in closing. The problem with our people is this. You have some of our people that speak against Semitic people, and you know what I'm talking about. And I question myself, why do you speak against these Semitic people when these people were the reason that the Civil Rights Bill got passed? We worked closely with them, and they helped us get that passed. But you know what our problem is? Our problem is this. When we reach fame or we reach wealth with you, we don't think like businessmen. We think that you're supposed to go with us for the rest of your life. No. With those Semitic people, they accomplished something great with black people, for black people. But that don't mean they wasn't supposed to benefit from it too. And that don't mean they had to be with us holding our hand for the rest of our existence. Time and chaos brought us together. We did something great together. And when they move on, we should move on too. But remember, don't forget what has been done that was great. Because you can produce it and do it again. You don't need to make an enemy of someone just because you've reached a certain point and maybe they're not supposed to come with you. As I stated with Moses and the children, Moses was there with the children of Israel, the Jewish people, for so long. And when he served the purpose that God sent him to serve, he could go no further. Those Semitic people were supposed to go no further with you because you were supposed to pick up and take that advantage that you had and use it. It's not their fault because you didn't. That girl served her purpose with Travis Hunter. And she played an instrumental part with him. While she's sitting there in the videos being all serious and rubbing stuff on her face, he back in the back being goofy and dancing and all that. Where do you think that business part of him come from? Where do you think that focus comes from? Whether she was in a strip club or not. I told y'all before, some of the most influential motherfuckers in that whole era of drugs were them women up in the strip club. Every lick I hit, every plug I got came through a woman. Put some respect on their name. Deuces.